The Evermore podcast is now sponsored by WFST Total Compliance. WFST provides fire safety requirements UK-wide to prepare you and your employees should the worst happen. Do what you do best and visit wfst.co.uk today. Enjoy the episode. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with your match reaction straight after Newcastle United have just beat Manchester City at St James's Park 1-0 thanks to Alexander Isak goal. Nobody would have seen that coming at the end of the first half. I guarantee you. We're going to get stuck right into this, have a little look at how the lads lined up and talk a little bit about the game. But it's another brilliant result for Newcastle and just a fantastic week of football, really. You know, we've got Burnley coming at the weekend as well, and then Paris Saint-Germain possibly without Kylian Mbappe next week. I mean, Newcastle are on a fucking roll. That is for damn sure. We're going to get stuck right into this in a minute. If you are new to the channel, you're just checking us out for the first time, good to see you. Please click subscribe. I'd love you to come and join us. We're actually over 5,300 subs now, so I just need to update this a little bit. But loads of room for you here. Smash a subscribe, drop a like. If you want to be a member as well, we've got membership options, so click that. More than happy to have you guys on board and join this ever-growing community of Evermore. We've got a few in the comments. We're live, as we always are as well. Let's get stuck right into it. George is in the house. George is a member. He's so proud of the young ones. Gordon sprinting from the left wing to the right in 2 seconds flat, tackling Kovacic. That was amazing, that, by the way. I'll get stuck into that in a minute. It made me gasp. Absolutely fantastic. Les is buzzing as well. What a turnaround. Absolutely. We've got the Zig as well. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this young man as well. I have been very subdued about this signing, but my God, he had a fantastic game tonight. So let's get stuck in then. So how did we line up tonight? Let's have a look. There was loads of changes, to be fair. I think 10 changes all in all. The only person who kept their place from the Moreland of Sheffield United was Nick Pope, who did literally fuck all at Bramall Lane, bar just sit and watch his teammates score goal after goal after goal. The big news, obviously the massive news that none of us expected, was J7 back in the house. My God, none of us expect that after this knee injury that you had, and talk about going to Barcelona to see a surgeon and specialists and all this nonsense. And then Joe Linton comes back into the front three alongside Alexander Isak and Jacob Murphy. So that was great to see that. And Big Joe showed some flashes of exactly what he's all about tonight as well, which is fantastic. Obviously, the back Livramento came in for Trippier. Paul Dummett, where the fuck's he been for the last 10 years, I always say, from the Buzzcocks. He wheeled him out of cryostasis to play in a cup game. Did quite well tonight, to be fair, as did Matty Targett. Lewis Hall played in midfield alongside young Louis Miley and Sandro Tonali. And basically, there's not much to talk about in the first half because we basically just got passed around by Manchester City. It was a really, really weird game, to be fair. Just getting passed around left, right, and centre. Really, just nothing really for us to get excited about at all, to be honest with you. One of them cup games, and you just look at it thinking, Manchester City had a decent team, as you can see there. They had a good, strong lineup out as well. Like so Grealish was there, and Calvin Phillips. And you look at it and you're thinking it's not a shit Manchester City team. There's some youngins in there as well, but they're just knocking it about left, right, and centre. Just like Manchester City do, and it runs you ragged. It really does. There was little flashes of bits Newcastle could do, and Livramento had a couple of really good moments where he knocked the ball by people and he showed that speed that he's got to break forward as well on that right hand side. That was really promising as well. Lewis Hall struggled a little bit, I think, to get into the game. He had little moments, but he lost the ball a bit and some slack passing. I felt a little bit sorry for Louis Miley because he was literally just chasing shadows the entire half, really. So the first half ended. We make two changes at half time, which is very un-Eddie Howe-like. I was waiting for like 60 minutes before these changes were made, especially with being 0-0. City should have really put us to the sword, in all fairness. Most City fans will be thinking, how have we lost that game? But we bring on Bruno Guimaraes and Anthony Gordon, and my God, it was like flicking petrol in a match into this game because it just set it on fire. Bruno just picked up where he left off against Sheffield United. Lovely touches, flying into tackles, flicking the ball around people, some great vision with his passing. and Gordon was just pure intensity again, running at people, robbing the ball off them. Joe Linton started to come alive as well in the game. Isak started to look more interested. Almost in the first 2-3 minutes of the second half, we did more than we did in the whole first half, really. And I do feel sorry for the young lads. As I said, they'll have better games for Newcastle, both Lewis Hall and Louis Miley, definitely 100%. But bringing those two lads on just totally sparked this game into life, really, and it just gives us that injection of quality and intensity that Gordon and Guimaraes bring. And City were rattled, they were properly on the back foot. They didn't know what the fuck to do when these two lads were on the pitch in full tilt. They were starting to argue with each other. They were whinging at the referee, everything, and it was just absolutely fantastic, to be honest with you. John, you're right there as well. Yeah, the Sky Comms were sycophants on City, and they totally ate shit in the second half, mate. Well said. It was quite grotesque, actually, at one point. I was watching it on a stream, and it was a little bit ropey, to be fair. But as I've said before, I would flick on and watch Newcastle fan channels if you got the commentary, if you want to listen to somebody a bit less biased than these lot. But we absolutely rattled them in the second half. Pep looked rattled as well, completely rattled, didn't know what was going on. And then we pressed them, we win the ball back. Joe Linton just does what Joe Linton does best, and he just beast runs at Manchester City, hanging on the fucking side of him, like trying to catch a bus to school. He's just swatting them away like flies at a picnic, and he knocks a ball across. And I'm thinking, no, it's gone. And then Isak just pops it at the back stick, puts it in the back of net, and St James's Park just absolutely erupts in raw. And the atmosphere was incredible as well. Massive shout out to all the fans tonight at St James's Park. The atmosphere was electric. I could hear it loud and clear on the TV, and I can only imagine how amazing that was at the ground as well, to be fair. I do agree with you as well, Neil. Absolutely fucking have it too right. Ray is saying, who is the next? Or who's next? Get in. Sorry, mate. Who's next? I thought you were talking about Russell Brand, David Williams for a minute there, mate. I thought, wrong podcast. No, who is next? Fuck it. Bring him on, mate. You're absolutely right. But obviously, from that point of view, City looked totally rattled. That they were making some changes. They're bringing in some of the players, but Grealish was trying his best, little jinking runs, and he just couldn't get any change out of Tino Livramento. I could hear Tino chanting by the crowd, and I'm going early right now, 10 minutes in. My man of the match was Tino Livramento. I thought he was fucking outstanding. Given the fact that he's replacing the gold standard of right back that is Kieran Trippier, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I hold my hands up. I didn't get the signing. I questioned it. I said, why didn't I sign number 6 or whatever? When you see that lad put in a performance like that with pace, intensity, his ability to get forward, the tackle he puts in the second half when he gets across with that speed and flicks a toe on it, absolutely sensational. And you can understand now why Eddie Howe and Dan Ashworth wanted to bring this lad in for the future of the club. Kieran isn't getting any younger, sadly, still amazing. But when you can have a player like Tino Livramento that can come in and play Carabao Cup and FA Cup games like that, maybe other league games we want to rest Kieran for a big Champions League game if we manage to get through the group into the knockout stages. Tino's just showed there what he's all about, and for me, he was man of the match 100%. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Some notable mentions as well. I thought Joe Linton showed spells of just being the Joe Linton that we know and will love. Maybe he's had a chance to rest this knee, flying tackles again, winning the ball. Obviously looked a little bit ring rusty because he's not played for a few weeks. Again, Bruno looked mint when he come on. Gordon's just so essential to this side. He really is. We don't look the same with Anthony Gordon in this side. We really don't. Isak grew to the game second half, I felt. Dummett played quite well, I thought, for a lad who's like he's been frozen in ice like Austin Powers for God knows how many years. Now he played really well. Lascelles didn't really do much wrong either. Quite steady from Lascelles. So good performances, I think, all around. I mean, the only disappointing thing I think was probably, as I say, Lewis Hall didn't look sharp, but I don't think he is sharp. I think he needs to get that that kind of match fitness up, really. And I'm not sure where we're playing him. He was in midfield, and he then dropped in the left back, and he was back in midfield again. And he will find his feet in this team. There's no doubt about that, Lewis Hall, because he is a really, really good player. But I think he does need to work on that fitness there, and hopefully he can do that on the training pitch as well. Damn right, Ian. Good evening to you too, mate. Absolutely. A comment there from Ian. He's saying, "Hey Chris, wow, that lineup had me worried, but it seemed like Howe knew exactly what he was doing. Genius, Livramento, what a player." Too right, Ian. That's just said there. I think all of us, if we're honest, were a little bit sceptical about the Livramento signing. But as you rightly say, Stu, Tino. I've not heard that at St James's Park for quite some time, to be fair. But absolutely brilliant performance from the lad. It really was. Couldn't agree more, George. He is a class replacement for trips now. Again, Brian's given Tino some more love as well. And it would be great for the lad. I mean, his confidence will grow massively for that performance as well. Absolutely. Ian saying, geez, Dummett is done. Thank fuck Haaland took a rest. Do you know what? I think he did what he had to do, Dummett. He's never been a brilliant footballer. He's always thrown his body on the line. You saw that tackle at the end when he flew himself in there, with real aggression and strength. And that's what Dummett's all about. You're right, his better years are behind him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he even retires and becomes part of the coaching setup, maybe for the young players or whatever, just to show them what it means to play for the club and everything else. But I thought he did okay today. I didn't think he put much of a foot wrong as well. And you're right, Zig. I thought, Target was good. We had better shape. I felt Target looked like a proper left back. I know he's a proper left back, and I'm not going to slag Burn off because Burn's been brilliant for us. But for me, Target looked like a proper left back, and there was balance there. The only difference is Target doesn't get forward a great deal. That's why I was thinking that Lewis Hall left back would have been a good shout, but obviously Eddie wanted to play in midfield, but I don't think that worked. I don't want to see Lewis Hall in midfield again. If I'm honest with you, I think he's a good wing back. Make him a wing back. Don't play him in midfield. That area of the pitch is far too saturated, in my opinion, as well. We've got so many players that can play now. We've got Bruno, we've got Joe Linton, we've got Louis Miley, we've got Sean Longstaff, we've got Tonali. We don't need to put Lewis Hall in as a midfielder as well. He's a good wing back. He's got that quality to go up and down that left-hand side. So pick that spot and play him there, in my opinion. Yeah, you're right, Ray. We need to keep this momentum up. Absolutely. We've got Burnley at the weekend. Burnley are as wide open as Sharon Stone's legs, as I always say at the back. We should fucking batter Burnley. We really should. If we play with that kind of intensity and that pace in our play, we should smash Burnley. But you never look a gift horse in the mouth in the Premier League because you just don't know what is going to happen. Marcus in the comments as well. Yeah, double wow listening to these terrible pundits here in the States on ESPN was even the more glorious. My goodness, I've missed Big Joe. I don't know what it is about these pundits, Marcus. Honestly, they just don't seem to give us any credit whatsoever for these performances that were put in. I mean, the Sky people started to warm up towards the end, and simply because we're absolutely battered City in the second half, we didn't give them a second to breathe. We were on them like a rash. Every time they had the ball, there was two, there was three pressing. Gordon's pace, Joe Linton's aggression, and they were just losing the ball. Bruno was fucking brilliant when he come on. And just a point on Bruno as well, by the way. I don't know if anybody's seen this, but Bruno got a yellow card for being a little bit over exuberant with a tackle, right? Which the ref had given about 4 yellow cards to City players, I think, before that. So he had to do something. And then shortly after that, this ball comes in, and Bruno checks over his shoulder to see who the player is. I think it's Gomez. And Bruno slips and he puts his foot back to stop himself, and he catches Gomez on the ankle. Gomez goes down, holding his ankle like a scene out of fucking Saving Private Ryan, like most of these players do. And Guardiola was going mental on the sideline. Oh, Pep was losing his cool on the sideline, wanting Bruno Guimaraes to have a second yellow and a red card. And I seen the referee go over, and then he put his hand in his pocket, and I actually thought for a minute, this referee is not going to be this stupid as he and do that. And thankfully, he booked Pep Guardiola for it. And then Guardiola was mouthing, I don't know who he was mouthing to, but it was a fourth official already, how he was going 10 men. I'm sorry, Pep, but you are fucking reaching there, pal. If a player's going to slip and catch another player behind him, and you think that's a yellow card, every single football game will be disbanded because there won't be enough players to play because they'll all have second yellows and red cards. Utter fucking nonsense. I love Pep Guardiola, but that to me was utter bullshit. And that was the bad side of Pep. I didn't like seeing that at all. Well, James in the comments there saying, Dummett turned back the clock, warrior like Tino Livramento. Was utter spun goal. What a player. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, James. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Les thinks Sky were worse. Marcus, for your comment for the pundits before. They started off really bad. I haven't seen or heard anything themselves. I've just jumped straight on to do this. But God knows what on earth they've been talking about, probably in that dressing room. In that studio, I beg your pardon. Probably saying that, City should have closed us off, and, Newcastle have shithouse their way to 1-0 win, probably. Yeah, you are totally right. He's on a tier. We have missed Joe Linton. The guy is a beast. He's just an animal. He really is. I mean, he's such a strong player that you see these players. I mean, I love that bit when Foden did his little spin and pirouette, and I'm laughing because all Joe Linton did was run into him, put his hands down, ran into him. And I'm sorry, Phil Foden, we can't help the fact that you're 8.5 stone wet and this bloke is built out of fucking granite. Get out of the way. If he's going to run into you, you're going to get poleaxe, mate. It's as simple as that. I don't care how skillful you are. He didn't foul you. He just ran into you as you try to go around him and you bounced off him because he's an absolute machine. Again, you kind of start accusing players of being dirty there and asking for free kicks and fouls and everything else. And speaking of dirty, the filthiest tackle of the night, by the way, was Calvin Phillips on Jacob Murphy with that cowardly stamp. So Man City want to be watching that, Pep Guardiola, before you start mouthing off about Bruno, because that was a disgusting tackle by Calvin Phillips, and he's very, very lucky that nobody got hurt with that one as well. They're interviewing Isak now, George. Yeah, I'm sure Alexander Isak has got plenty of good things to say about that as well. But yeah, you're right, actually, he went off injured, didn't he, Isak? That would kind of stop the momentum a little bit in the play. I hope he's not tweaked. Did they hook him or before he got crocked? I think they might have been watching that, I think, for the injury to see whether it was something that he could play through. But I think what we saw from Alexander Isak before that was that beautiful way of ghosting behind defenders. Like I said, I often call him the ghost in the box, that he just haunts centre-half's dreams. They don't know where he goes, because if you watch him, the centre-half takes a step one side and Isak steps to the other, then he kind of just sneaks around the back of them and he manages to take the ball off him with that pace and them long legs of his, and they can't deal with it. Nathan Aké couldn't deal with it. He did it 3 or 4 times to him, which was absolutely sensational, really. And for me, like I say, I think it was a really brilliant performance by Isak. It's just a shame that he got injured and a shame that he had to go off. But hopefully, he's going to be all right for the weekend, and he's going to be all right for Paris Saint-Germain. I think Wilson will start against Burnley personally, and then I think that Isak will start against Paris Saint-Germain, because I just think that that is the kind of way the strikers are going to be used, to be fair. We've got Dean in the comments here, masterclass from Eddie. Tight first half that our second, quality. However, the lads. It was really good management by Eddie Howe. I felt, he has had some stick from the fan bases about his in-game management, and I think, looking at that, I think he handled that really well. I think he handled the after the first half of just getting absolutely passed around. To me, I think that he really handled it well, in all fairness. By bringing on those subs as early as he did, then I think he really handled it well. So yeah, just going through a few more of the comments here. What we've got here. Excuse the banging of the door. That was my podcasts rattling the door, and they managed to burst into this room. So hopefully they won't fly on the screen like Mark's podcast does. They are black white cats as well, mind you. So I'm going to be watching little bastards in a minute. Hopefully they'll come on and jump on the keys. So you might have a little bit of podcast action as well tonight there. So John is in the comments saying he thought Hall looked very one-dimensional. I think he's just still trying to find his way. John, I think he's had no football, no pre-season really. So I just think he really needs to get up to speed. And we saw this with Anthony Gordon, there's fitness and then there's Eddie Howe fitness. And I think Lewis Hall needs to get up to that level of fitness very, very quickly if he wants to force his way into this team. That's probably why Byrne keeps playing at left back, which I'm going to stop moaning about. Yeah, Kev Livermore was my man of the match as well. Dummett did really well, to be fair. Yeah, 100%. I think he was really good tonight. Marcus is saying Grealish is weak, not nearly as big of a threat as Gordon. I think if you're looking at England statistics there, Marcus, I would honestly say, for me, I'm not just saying this because I'm biased as a Newcastle fan. I don't see why Gordon shouldn't be in the next England squad. I think there's not a player in the league who is as direct as he is and as threatening as he is and presses like he does. Raheem Sterling back in the day had that pace and that quality and everything else, but he didn't press like Gordon did. Didn't press and harry people like Gordon does. And I think it's a great quality to have as well. I mean, throw or listen as well. I did see some news before the game that apparently they reckon Joe Willock is well ahead of schedule and he may even be in the squad for the Paris Saint-Germain game. I mean, fucking hell. We lost Harvey Barnes, everyone was gutted, and then all of a sudden Joe Linton's back and Joe Willock might be back. I mean, that is unbelievable news if that's true. I really, really hope that is the case, because what a couple of players that is to bring back into the fold. Gordon is Flash Gordon. He's got a rocket up his ass. He really has. He's got like petrol instead of blood in his veins, isn't he, Brian? He's absolutely classy. He really, really is. Again, just scrolling down there. Yeah, John, you're right. Joe Linton was fired up today. He was absolutely sensational, man. He really was. Got Joey in the comments. Yeah, he did make Grealish look a bit amateur. I mean, no, Grealish is kind of finding his way back to fitness as well. he just didn't get any change out. And we're told that he did not get any change out of him whatsoever. I just thought he was brilliant. Livramento, his positional sense, and then the minute he got done, he's got that pace to recover. I've got a donation there from Crypto Rambo. Thank you so much. We've got $20 there, all the way from LA. Yes, I'm glad I stayed home today. Tino, what a player. Grealish did not pass him even once. I've decided I'm moving to Newcastle in 2024, and he loves the show. Thank you so much, Crypto Rambo. Thank you so much for your donation as well, mate. I really appreciate that. It really helps the channel grow as well. Yeah, Dave, how good was the second half, mate? Oh, mate, it was brilliant. Absolutely sensational. I've never seen it coming after the first half, I must admit. Michael Donnelly saying 21, but Gordon on so much, man. Yeah, absolutely. Gordon has just been so good. He really has. I mean, I think that if you think about that player that was literally ran out of town at Everton to the kid that we've got now, he just looks like a completely different player. And that's what confidence can do for you. That's what a supporting manager can do for you, and a fan base who give you that love can do for you. I mean, Everton, literally ran this kid out of town, accused him of left, right, and centre, everything, and it was just he could go down as one of their best ever academy products, really, right up there with the likes of Wayne Rooney. Obviously, I'm not saying he's as good as Wayne Rooney, but in terms of from that Everton academy, Anthony Gordon could very well be one of those real quality players. And I think for me, I think Everton fans owe him an apology. I really do, but you'll probably not get it, in all fairness. I've got another comment there from Arda7. It was encouraging to see some reserve players can do a job for us if needed, but some do still need work. Yeah, absolutely. I'd agree with that. But that's all what fitness is all about. I mean, I think in an ideal world, you wouldn't have had City in the first game of the Carabao Cup. You would have had a lower league team or maybe a lower Premier League team. And you would have a chance to maybe stick with those players for a bit longer. But I think the fact that it was City and we were getting completely passed off the park, and Eddie made a brave decision to bring the two players on who really turned the game round. And I've got to give him his credit for that. I think it was absolutely brilliant. Great comment there, John Joe. 4th clean sheet. You cannot underestimate that. And a totally new back four as well, really. And how encouraging is that? Another clean sheet against a team like Manchester City, reserve team or not, got the quality, got the danger, and we've still had a clean sheet. I mean, the confidence is just oozing out of this football club at the minute. Absolutely sensational. It really is. Aaron in the comments saying we should have been in their faces from the kickoff, or they'll pass your head off. Class performance. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think maybe that was the lack of intensity, possibly in the personnel that was on the pitch. I think Lewis Hall wanted to get on the ball and try and be creative and make things happen. Louis Miley's only 17, so I'm not going to be too hard on him. I think there's a lot better performances to come from him. I did feel sorry for him. I thought he was just chasing shadows most of the time, like most of the other lads. But that intensity wasn't there. But when you bring on, Bruno swagging around, chewing that gum as he does, and you bring on Gordon with that pace and that intensity, the whole game can change, and that's exactly what it did. So yeah, absolutely brilliant for me. Yeah, good shout, Kev. I did see that. Thank fuck there's a 3 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday. Wow, it's so rare at the minute. I'm getting sick of these evening games, I must admit. So it'd be quite nice to go back and have just a normal 3 o'clock kickoff. We've got Keith Toppin saying, yeah, Livramento looks some player, doesn't he? He does, mate, and I don't think any of us thought he was going to be that good. Peter saying Tino played outstanding. I've got another comment there from George saying PSG have some made in the old Peloton. Says, wow, actually that was shit in the pants, I believe, mate. Multilingual here on Evermore. Daniel Smith saying 4-0 for the Burnley match. Can't see them getting a look in. I think if we play like we did certainly against Sheffield United and in that second half tonight, we should really blow Burnley away, because they do play some nice stuff, Burnley, but they're so naive at the back. And I think if they give any room to likes of Callum Wilson, Alexander Isak, Miggy, even Elliot Anderson, who can find that position, certainly Anthony Gordon, they're going to be in serious trouble in all fairness. So yeah, I'm buzzing for that. Graham Travels is saying no pundits or even in the media really understand what's going on here. Exception, I'd say, is Henry Winter. Yeah, Henry Winter is a really good guy, to be fair. He really gets Newcastle United. And they better start getting clued up, as we ain't going anywhere. It doesn't look that way, mate. And it also doesn't look like Chelsea are going to come back from the kind of fields of mediocrity that they're sitting in either. Everyone thought Pochettino was going to go and then wave a magic wand and they were going to be absolutely brilliant again, and they're obviously not. So maybe the press are going to have to admit that they've got that wrong, and they've got Newcastle wrong as well, maybe in the next few months, probably. What we got here. Yeah, Makakoni. What a rope a dope on the rope display. Shades of Ali for me. It really was. Yeah, we were going to get knocked out, Maka, and then all of a sudden, we'd turn around and do that in the second half, which Pep certainly never saw coming. He absolutely looked completely bamboozled, didn't he, at the end of it? Speaking of Pep, Marcus is saying, listen to Pep, he's angry. Newcastle finally put a thorn in his side. Remember when Mourinho couldn't win at Newcastle for love nor money, no matter how mint of a manager he was? Maybe this is the start of Pep losing against Newcastle on a regular basis, and he'll just be completely pissed off, which will be just, sweet elixir, really. Peter saying, Big Joe, the powerhouse. Absolutely, man. Just what a player, man. What an absolute player. What a start that is, George. XG for the tune 1.12 for City, 0.56. Wow. And it is a massive scalp. Peter, you're totally right. Yeah, good shout, Lee. Unbelievable result for us as well, mate. Just none of us expected it, as we say. It was just absolutely brilliant. Yeah, and he did spin like a ballerina, John Joe. He really did. I love Foden. I think Foden's a fantastic footballer, but he was never, ever, ever going to get anywhere near Joe Linton with that, because he's just an absolute monster. Yeah, thank you very much for that, mate. Yeah, he is made of granite. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. Big Tank said he wouldn't mind Big Joe at left wing. I know he's in mid, but I kind of like Longstaff. I can see Joe on the left-hand side. I think certainly with the injury to Barnes, I think it'll put that thought into Eddie Howe's mind, and I think he will play him there. In all fairness, I think he'll play him there, and that's what he'll look to do, because Joe's brilliant everywhere, but yeah, I think on the left-hand side he can really cause some damage if he's actually in the middle. It was a great game, Peter. Absolutely, mate. Social Johns, how was the game? I heard trying to tap up more players. Who's tapping up more players? Eddie Howe? Eddie Howe or Pep Guardiola? I don't think it's not really Howe's style. Maybe Pep was, mate. Maybe Pep was. We've got a few more comments in here. We've got scrolling down, guys. Hang on. We've got Billy in the comments there. Billy's back in the house. Good to see you, Billy. Fantastic second half performance. Tonali really improved with Bruno coming on. Do you know what I thought he did? That was quite a positive sign, that. It really was. Podcast intensity. Honestly, these two are worse than Mark. These two are little shitbags. They're trying to fight each other in the background. If you can hear scrapey nails, it's because I can't get up out here and go, because Mark isn't here to take over. So he's in the background lurking. So I'm just watching him like a hawk, little bastards. Yeah, but you're right, Billy. I think it was a good sign to see Tonali look a little bit better when Bruno came in. It freed him up a bit to make those forward runs, didn't it, as well, which was great. Just the dogs. Watts' second half, Tino grew into the game, amazing, and subs just inspirational. And in Eddie, we trust. Absolutely, John. Great shout, mate. It's I think Eddie's showing there that he's got that in-game management brewing as well, and I love that, because people have questioned that about him, but he just looked absolutely brilliant there today with those quick decisions as well. We've got Bin Logan, production, BG, Isaac. He's saying absolutely. It was a shame Isaac come off, because he started to grow into the game, and I thought he was brilliant. In all fairness, I thought he was really, really good. I want to see more of that from Isaac. I want Isaac to be sharp as sharp as a Mach 3 on Christmas Day, as I said before, against Paris Saint-Germain. That's what I want to see Alexander Isak, especially if Mbappe ain't playing, because wow, all eyes will be on Alexander Isak in all fairness. So it's draw time. Mark is in the admin. He's got one eye on the draw, so we'll keep an eye on the draw. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments as well who we're going to get. I think that's over now, Kev, the whole Grealish Almiron thing, mate. I really do. I'm not going to pull Jack Grealish apart for that anymore. Yeah, you're right, Vincent. Tonali's second half performance was a lot better. We just need to see more from him. I think when he's the main man. I think with Miley and Hall either side of him, he didn't have that kind of gravitas to take a hold of that midfield. I think if you put Bruno in the middle, he knows what we need. But with those two young boys either side, I think maybe we would have seen more from Bruno. That's because Bruno's been here longer and he's more settled in this team. I'm not going to run Tonali down. He needs to grow into that role. He's still a young lad. But yeah, I would like to have seen him have a bit more kind of give me the ball and make something happen and bring the young lads along with him. But we just spent the most of the first half chasing the ball, really. But listen, we got the result at the end of the day. So, that for me is the best thing about it. Yeah, you're right, Brian. I thought Target made some great stops, the neat, as did Dummett. Target was shocking pre-season. He was shocking. I remember looking at him, and I said to Mark, we were in the crowd, and I just said, Target looks like he's just landed from Ibiza after 2 weeks on the piss. He was that bad, but he looked really good tonight. I think he's obviously worked hard on the training pitch, got himself sharp, got himself fit. So, fair play to Target. 2 seconds, I was going to stop my cat from doing something. There you go. That's how you get rid of the pod cap. You throw a napkin on it. So no animals were harmed in the filming of this episode. Just scrolling down the rest of the comments for you there, guys. So we've got Ray is saying that Eddie should play the same back four on Saturday. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, against Burnley, you can maybe get away with it. I mean, you obviously want your main four there. I think they will come back in all fairness. I can't see us not playing, Botman, Shaw, and Trippier. Trippier want to play against Burnley as well. It's his old team. So I think, for me, I think he's Trippier will definitely come back into the team, as will the rest of them, I think, as well. Hall is technically on loan, so wouldn't play against Chelsea, presumably, says Stu Mag. No, he probably wouldn't, in all fairness, mate. But at the minute, he's not going to get in that team, in all fairness. I think he's got to really up his game. What's James saying there? Who will Man United draw at home? Ooh, hopefully not us, mate. Don't really fancy playing any more of them. No, I'm not for that John Trippier being moved to left back just because Tino's had a good game. I don't buy this stuff. I know he was good for England at left back, but Trippier does all of that work on the right hand side. I'm not having him at left back. Play Burn there. Burn's doing all right there. If he has a shocker and he drops off, then you've got Target, you've got Hall, really. So I just think we keep Trips exactly where he is. Marcus is saying he thinks Eddie used the mongoose versus the Cobra strategy. Man United away. Oh, for fuck's sake. Is that who we've got? Oh, my God. They're definitely trying to get us out of this fucking cup competition. Mind you, the way they're playing, Manchester United, I think our women's team could probably beat them. No disrespect to the women's team. I think they're better than Manchester United. I think our under-8s could beat fucking Manchester United the way they're playing at the minute. But we've got Manchester United away then, guys. So there's another big one. I'll be another one for Sky to stand and wank over Manchester United for 90 minutes on. So there we go. Let us know what you think in the comments below there about getting Manchester United in the next round. I tell you what, if we beat them and all, hopefully we will win this bloody competition after all. What we've got here, I'm just kind of catch up the comments there, guys. So Johnson Livramento will be breathing down Trippier's throat now. Well, I don't know about that, mate. I mean, Trippier's the man, in all fairness. He is the man. What have we got here? Let's scrolling down the comments here. 2 seconds, guys. Just trying to catch up. Mark's too busy watching the draw to help me with the comments here. What we've got. Let's see what you guys are all thinking about the Manchester United draw. There we go. Trying to catch up with his comments there. There we go. Yeah, you guys are in the comments, yeah. So Sensible Monica saying, for fuck's sake. Yeah, we've got Alan Patterson, man, you way. Marcus says, good Lord. Ada says, I knew it. Good point. Mark's in the comments, revenge mission. Absolutely. And George says, nothing to fear from that shower of shite. I'm not scared about Manchester United. I really am not, in all fairness. I think we will. I think we will beat them, George. I think you're totally right, mate. What we've got here, Man United will be better than when we played them. Armback looked quality last night. Yeah, but he's got to deal with Anthony Gordon, James, isn't he? Yeah, I don't care how good he played as a makeshift right back. I don't fancy dealing with Anthony Gordon if I was him, mate. I just think he'll get ripped to pieces. What else we got here? Yeah. Big Tank saying we can't catch a break, man. Yeah. To be fair, it does make you feel like the world is against the tune when you see those kind of draws. But hey, listen, like I say, they're not all that Manchester United. They really aren't. I mean, I would fancy us to beat them. They won't want that draw. They won't want Newcastle coming to Old Trafford the way we played tonight in the second half. Absolutely not. Mark says there, Man U are shite. They'll get slapped. I think, to be fair as well, if we go into that off the back of a few good results with confidence high, we could smash Manchester United in that game. We really could. As you say, pop images, let's beat both Mancs. Why not? Why not? Fuck it. And Mark's in the comments there saying second half performance would destroy Manchester United. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Also, there's Ben Logan saying Isak is lazy like a lion, but if he's awake, he's dangerous. He does seem to be that kind of player that drifts in and out of games, but when he does drift in, my God, he's explosive. He really is, isn't he? Mark G's going 2-1 to the tune, obviously, against Manchester United. I think he's saying there. The Zig is saying Manchester wank, wank, wank. Absolutely, mate. I'm not scared of them. I really am not. Bring them on. I think the only thing that Marcus Rashford can seem to hit at the minute is curbs when he's driving his car. So I'm not scared of that fucking bellend. Screw them, bring them on. They're still arguing amongst the squad. The managers all over the place. He's not able to pull his squad together. I don't think they've got a little jammy, shitty win against Burnley. So yeah, I'm not asked about them in the slightest, to be fair. So it doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me that we've got them. I would have been more worried if we'd got Liverpool, possibly because we're a bit of the bogey side. So I'm quite happy to get them. Not bothered with them at all. As Kev almost just said, just by listening to what I've just said, they could be worse. We could have got Liverpool. Absolutely. I think they probably would have put us out of the cup, in all fairness. But yeah, Manchester United, bring it on. Why not? Shouldn't be scared of them. We're a Champions League team now. We're finding form. Our players are really kicking on and accelerating. And I just think that they won't want to play Newcastle United. Nobody want to play Newcastle United. But if we put Manchester United out in the next round as well, we're real strong favourites for this Carabao Cup. So I think that's me about done, guys. I think just a quick review really after tonight's game. Another brilliant performance. We'll be back with a match preview for Burnley later on in the week. Obviously, it's a Saturday 3:00 kickoff, so we'll jump on and do a post-match review straight after that as well. Hopefully, we're going to be looking at another win for Newcastle, another 3 points on this winning streak, and then it'll be on to Paris Saint-Germain the week after, which I still can't believe I'm saying that out loud, in all fairness. But thank you so much to everybody who's jumped in the comments. It always helps the reviews flow. If you haven't already, click subscribe. We'd love you to come and join us. Like the video. If you fancy being a member as well, smash a membership in there. It's only $1.99 if you have done it already. So we really appreciate that. There's loads more room for you here. There'll be loads more content coming as well. There could possibly even be a Victor Osimhen rant tomorrow morning if you want to check that out on the channel as well. Don't watch it near the kiddies though, because sometimes I can use some fruity language. But definitely worth a watch that, guys. Have a cracking evening, whatever you're doing. Get yourself to bed, get some sleep. Another brilliant win for Newcastle. The Carabao Cup's ours. Fuck Manchester United. Bring them on. Catch you later, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.